Hi there, my friends. It's Laura the Teach. Now, today we're going to work on something called fact families. Typically, we will have 3 numbers for a fact family, and we have to write an addition and subtraction problem for numbers that we're given. We're going to start out with a smaller version of that with just 2 of our add-ins. An add-in is a number that you add to another number to get an answer. So I've gone through and I've written down some add-ins on this page, and we're going to look at how we can write 2 addition problems and 2 subtraction problems for each number that we are given. So the first one has 2 and 3. We've got to figure out how we can write an addition problem using 2 and 3. When we add, our number gets bigger. And so when we put numbers together and we add, we have a plus sign. And this is an equal sign. So to make it bigger for you, a plus sign looks like a lowercase t, and an equal sign are 2 lines, one above the other. So our first problem says 2 and 3. When we're adding our numbers together, we have an addition where we can reverse the numbers and write another problem and still get the same answer. So we would first write 2 plus 3 like that. And then we can reverse that and write 3 plus 2. 2 plus 3 and 3 plus 2 are the same answer. How do we figure out the answer? Well, there's different ways that you can add. One way is you can draw dots. So you can do 2 dots and 3 dots. And you can count those. Or you can use your fingers. I am a big fan of using your fingers when you're first learning how to count, because we carry a calculator with us all the time. So I could say the first number and hold it in my hand and then keep counting on to the second number. So my first number is 2. I can say I have 2 in my hand, and now I'm going to count 3 more fingers and keep counting. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you see I added 3 more fingers? I started with 2, 3, 4, 5, and added 3 fingers. So my answer for 2 plus 3 is 5. So what do you think my answer for 3 plus 2 will be? You're right. It's the same number, 5. I only reversed the number. Now I have to think of 2 subtraction problems. When you subtract, your number gets smaller. You take something away. And the subtraction sign looks like that. Just a line going across. Now, we have to use the same numbers that we have right here. We must use 2, 3, and 5. When you take a number away, you need to start with the biggest number and subtract a number that's smaller. Oh, Maggie's in the background. She loves to do math. So, our biggest number of the 3 would be 5, because when we had 2 and 3 and we put those together, we got a bigger number of 5. 5 is bigger than 3 and 5 is bigger than 2. So to do our subtraction, we have to start with 5 on both of those because that's the biggest number. Now, our first number in this problem is 2. So we can say 5, take 2 away, and what number is left? You're right. The number 3 is left. So we would say 5 take away 2 equals 3. Now, if you weren't sure about that, and you had 5, and you took 1, 2 away, you get the 3. See how that works? So here we said 5 take away 2. What else could we take away from 5? You're right, the 3. Oops, kind of hard to write it when you're holding it upwards. So if we have 5 take 3 away, what do you think our answer would be? What number is left? We had the numbers 2, 3, and 5. 5 take away 3 equals, you're right, 2. And again, if you were unclear, 5, you take 3 away. 1, 2, 3. You're left with the 2. So let's go to the next one. We have the numbers 1 and 4. So if we're going to add those numbers together, we can use 1 and 4 or 4 and 1. So we can write 1 plus 4 or 4 plus 1. And how can we add that? We can start with the bigger number, hold it in our hand. I have 4, and I'm going to add one more, 4, 5. So 4 plus 1 is 5, and 1 plus 4 is 5. So now when we subtract, we have to start with what? Yes, the bigger number. We must start with the bigger number because we can't take a big number away from a small number. Not yet. That's another lesson. So 5 and 5 is our big number. Now we're going to take away one of the numbers and have the other number as our answer. So our first number was 1. 5 take away 1 is what? What's left? You're right, the number 4. And if you were uncertain, you could say 5 take 1 away is 4. So we had 5 take away 1 here. What's our other choice? Good. We can have 5 take away 4. And what's our number that's left? 1. And again, if you were uncertain, 5 take away 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 1 left. Now we have 5 and 0. 0 I put down because 0 is a number. It's the absence of something. So if we're going to add those two numbers, we can say 5 plus 0. And what's the reversal? Good job. 0 plus 5. Now, when you add 0 to a number, you're not changing the number at all. You're not adding anything. So 5 plus 0 is 5. So 0 plus 5, you're adding nothing to 5. You're not changing the number. You're right, it's still 5. Now, if we're going to do a reversal, don't be confused by this because our numbers are only 5s and 0s. What's the biggest number? Any way you look at it, the biggest number is 5. So 5 is our biggest number. And what can we take away? Good. Our first number is 5 here, so 5 take away 5. And what's left? If you're unsure, 5 take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is what? Nothing. 0. And then we can say 5 take away 0. And if we have 5 and we take nothing away, you're right, it equals 5. Isn't that cool? So let's look at the next one, 3 plus 6. 3 plus 6. So 3 plus 6, and what's the reversal of that? 6 plus 3. Now to figure out what that answer is, we can hold the big number in our hand and say I have 6, and then I'm going to add 3 more. So 6, keep counting, 7, 8, 9. I added 3 more fingers. So 6 plus 3 and 3 plus 6 is 9. For our subtraction, what's our bigger number? You got it, 9. 9 is bigger than 6 and 9 is bigger than 3 because we had to add 3 and 6 together to get 9. So for our subtraction problem, we're going to write 9. And now, what's one of the numbers we can subtract from 9? You're right, 3. And down here, the other number is 6. And so, if we have 9 take away 3, What was the number that we used with the 3? Good, we used 6. And 9 take away 6, what was the number we used with 6? Very good, 3. You're writing fact families right now with me. Here we have 0 and 7, just like the 5 and the 0. So we can have 0 plus 7 and 7 plus 0. And if we are adding nothing to the 7, what's our answer going to be? You're right, the 7 doesn't change. 7 will be our answer. And what's the biggest number? You're right, 7. 7 is the only number besides 0 that we're using. So what's the first number we can write? 0. 7 take away 0. And what was left? Another 7. And 7 take away 7. Well, if you have 7 and you take all 7 away, what are you left with? Nothing. You're right. So the answer is 0. We've used those 3 numbers. 8 plus 5. We can say 8 plus 5. And what's the reversal of that? Good job. 5 plus 8. Now, how can we figure out the answer if you don't know? Take the biggest number in your hand. 8 is more than 5. You don't turn 8 before you turn 5. 5 comes first. So 5 is smaller. 8's the bigger number. So hold the 8 in your hand. You say, I have 8. And I'm going to add 5 fingers to that. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 is my answer. So if 8 plus 5 is 13, what's 5 plus 8? Good job. You're catching on. It's 13. So which one is the bigger number? 8? No, because we had to add 8 and 5 together to get 13. Yes, 13 is the bigger number. So I'm going to write that for both of my subtraction problems. So now we have the 2 numbers, 8 and 5. So we can switch those around. We can have 13 take away 8. And what number is left? 5. And 13 take away 5 equals what? Good job, 8. See, fact families are so much fun. All right, now we're on our last row. I'm sad it's coming to an end. We have 3 and 4. So what can we add first? Good job, 3 plus 4. And what's the reversal of that? Yes, 4 and 3. And if you didn't know what that answer was, take the bigger number, 4 is more than 3, 4 in your hand. I've got 4. I'm going to add 3 fingers. 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 and 3 and 4 equals 7. Which one is the bigger number? It's the one that we had to get when we added the small ones together. Correct. 7. And then we're going to use 3 and 4 and switch them around. So we can say 7 take away 3 equals what's left? Yep, 4. And 7 take away 4 equals what's left? Good, 3. Now we have 4 and 2. How can we write that? Oh, you're doing the smaller number first. So 2 plus 4, and how can we reverse that? 4 and 2. And if you don't know what that answer is, which one is the bigger number? Good, 4. So I have 4 in my hand, and I'm going to add 2 fingers. 4, 5, 6. So 4 and 2 is 6, and 2 and 4 is 6. So what's the bigger number? Good job, 6. So 6 and 6. 6 take away what? Good, 2 equals what? 4. And then we're going to use a other number. 6 take away what? Not 2 again, which is the other number. 4. So 6 take away 4 equals, what number's left? 2. Good job. Our last one, 5 and 6. What are you going to use first this time? Going to use 5 first. 5 plus 6, and what's the reversal of that? Good. 6 plus 5. And if you don't know what that answer is, what's the bigger number? Good job, 6. So you're going to add 5 fingers. Hold 6 in your hand and add your other 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 6 plus 5 and 5 plus 6 is what? 11. Good job. And what's our bigger number? Good. 11. So now we have to decide what's going to go first. What are you going to do first? 11 take away what? 6. And that equals what? What's the other number? 5. And now we're going to do 11 take away what? Good job, 5. And it equals? Great, 6. My goodness, you did a great job doing those families of addition and subtraction. I am so excited and I'm so proud of you. Keep practicing. Take 2 numbers, write 2 addition problems, write 2 subtraction problems, and then solve it. And it's okay to count on your fingers. Or you can draw dots or dashes, lines. You can get beans out of a bean jar. You can count Legos, anything that helps you add those numbers together. Have a great day.